من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقال الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا لولا أنزل علينا الملائكة أو نرى ربنا لقد استكبروا في أنفسهم وأتوا عتوا كبيرا. يوم يرون الملائكة لا بشرى يومئذ للمجرمين ويقولون حجرا محجورا. وقدمنا إلى ما عملوا من عمل فجعلناه هباء منثورا. أصحاب الجنة يومئذ خير مستقرا وأحسن مقيلا. ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا. الملك يومئذ الحق للرحمن وكان يوما على الكافرين عسيرا. ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه يقول يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا. يا ويلتي ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا. وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا. وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا من المجرمين وكفى بربك هاديا ونصيرا. وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا. ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا. الذين يحشرون على وجوههم إلى جهنم أولئك شر مكانا وأضل سبيلا. ولقد آتينا موسى الكتاب وجعلنا معه أخاه هارون وزيرا. فقلنا اذهبا إلى القوم الذين كذبوا بآياتنا فدمرناهم تدميرا. وقوم نوح لما كذبوا الرسل أغرقناهم وجعلناهم للناس آية واعتدنا للظالمين عذابا أليما. وعادا وثمود وأصحاب الرس وقرنا بين ذلك كثيرا وكلا ضربنا له الأمثال وكلا تبرنا تتبيرا. ولقد أتوا على القرية التي أمطرت مطر السوء أفلم يكونوا يرونها بل كانوا لا يرجون نشورا وإذا رعوك إن يتخذونك إلا هزوا هذا الذي بعث الله رسولا إن كاد ليدلون عن آلهتنا لولا أن صبرنا عليها وسوف يعلمون حين يرون العذاب من أضل سبيلا أرأيت من اتخذ إلهه هواه أفأنت تكون عليه وكيلا أم تحسب أن أكثرهم يسمعون أو يعقلون إن هم إلا كالأنعام بل هم أضل سبيلا ألم تر إلى ربك كيف مد الظل ولو شاء لجعله ساكنا ثم جعلنا الشمس عليه دليلا ثم قبضناه إلينا قبضا يسيرا وهو الذي جعل لكم الليل لباسا والنوم سباتا وجعل النهار نشورا وهو الذي أرسل الرياح بشرا بين يدي رحمة وأنزلنا من السماء ماء دحورا لنحيي به بلدة ميتة ونسقيه مما خلقنا أنعاما وأناسيا كثيرا ولقد صرفناه بينهم ليذكروا فأبى أكثر الناس إلا كفورا ولو شئنا لبعثنا في كل قرية نذيرا فلا تطع الكافرين وجاهدهم به جهادا كبيرا وهو الذي مرج البحرين هذا عذب فرات وهذا ملح أجاج وجعلها بينهما برزخا وحجرا محجورا وهو الذي خلق من الماء بشرا فجعله نسبا وصهرا وكان ربك قديرا ويعبدون من دون الله ما لا ينفعهم ولا يضرهم وكان الكافر على ربه ظهيرا وما أرسلناك إلا مبشرا ونذيرا قل ما أسألكم عليه من أجر إلا من شاء أن يتخذ إلى ربه سبيلا وتوكلوا على الحي الذي لا يموت وسبح بحمده وكفى به بذنوب عباده خبيرا الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وما بينهما في ستة أيام ثم استوى على العرش الرحمن فاسأل به خبيرا الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وما بينهما في أيام ثم استوى على العرش الرحمن فاسأل به خبيرا. وإذا قيل لهم اسجدوا للرحمن قالوا وما الرحمن ونسجد لما تأمرون وزادهم نفورا. تبارك الذي جعل في السماء بروجا وجعل فيها سراجا وقمرا منيرا. وهو الذي جعل الليل والنهار خلفة لمن أراد أن يذكر أو أراد شكورا. وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض حونا وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما. والذين يبيتون لربهم سجدا وقياما. والذين يقولون ربنا اصرف عنا عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان غراما إنها ساءت مستقرا ومقاما. والذين إذا أنفقوا لم يسرفوا ولم يقتروا وكان بين ذلك قواما. والذين لا يدعون مع الله إلها آخر ولا يقتلون النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ولا يزنون. ومن يفعل ذلك يلقى أثاما يضاعف له العذاب يوم القيامة ويخلد فيه مهانا إلا من تاب وآمن وعمل عملا صالحا فأولئك يبدل الله سيئاتهم حسنات وكان الله غفورا رحيما. ومن تاب وعمل صالحا فإنه يتوب إلى الله متابا. والذين لا يشهدون الزور وإذا مروا باللغو مروا كراما. والذين إذا ذكروا بآيات ربهم لم يخروا عليها صما وعميانا. والذين يقولون ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. أولئك يجزون الغرفة بما صبروا ويلقون فيها تحية وسلاما خالدين فيها حسنة مستقرا ومقاما. قل ما يعبأ بكم ربي لولا دعاؤكم فقد كذبتم فسوف يكون لزاما. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. طاسيم تلك آيات الكتاب المبين لعلك باخع نفسك ألا يكونوا مؤمنين إن نشأ ننزل عليهم من السماء آيات فظلت أعناقهم لها خاضعين وما يأتيهم من ذكر من الرحمن محدث إلا كانوا عنه معرضين فقد كذبوا فسيأتيهم أنباء ما كانوا به يستهزئون أولم يروا إلى الأرض كم أنبتنا فيها من كل زوج كريم إن في ذلك لآية وما كان أكثرهم مؤمنين وإن ربك لهو العزيز الرحيم وإذ نادى ربك موسى أن ائت القوم الظالمين قوم فرعون ألا يتقون قال رب إني أخاف أن يكذبون ويضيق صدري ولا ينطلق لساني فأرسل إلى هارون ولهم علي ذنب فأخاف أن يقتلون قال كلا فاذهبا بآياتنا إنا معكم مستمعون فأتيا فرعون فقولا إنا رسول رب العالمين أنا أرسل معنا بني إسرائيل قال ألم نربك فينا ولدا ولبثت فينا من عمرك سنين فعلتك التي فعلت وأنت من الكافرين قال فعلتها إذا وأنا من الضالين ففررت منكم لما خفتكم فوهب لي ربي حكما وجعلني من المرسلين وتلك نعمة تمنها على أن عبدت بني إسرائيل قال فرعون وما رب العالمين قال رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما إن كنتم موقنين قال لمن حوله ألا تستمعون قال ربكم ورب آبائكم الأولين قال إن رسولكم الذي أرسل إليكم لمجنون قال رب المشرق والمغرب وما بينهما إن كنتم تعقلون قال لئن اتخذت إلها غيري لأجعلنك من المسجونين قال أولو جئتك بشيء مبين قال فأت به إن كنت من الصادقين فألقى عصاه فإذا هي ثعبان مبين ونزع يده فإذا هي بيضاء للناظرين قال للملائكة حوله إن هذا لساحر عليم يريد أن يخرجكم من أرضكم بسحره فماذا تعمرون قالوا أرجح وأخاه وابعث في المدائن حاشرين يأتوك بكل سحار عليم. فجمع السحرة لميقات يوم معلوم وقيل للناس هل أنتم مجتمعون لعلنا نتبع السحرة إن كانوا هم الغالبين. فلما جاء السحرة قالوا لفرعون أئن لنا لأجرا إن كنا نحن الغالبين. قال نعم وإنكم إذا لمن المقربين. قال لهم موسى لغوا ما أنتم ملغون. فألغوا حبالهم وعصيهم وقالوا بعزة فرعون إنا لنحن الغالبون. فألقى موسى عصاه فإذا هي تلقف ما يأفكون. فألقي السحرة ساجدين قالوا آمنا برب العالمين رب موسى وهارون. قال آمنتم له قبل أن آذن لكم إنه لكبيركم الذي علمكم السحر فلسوف تعلمون. لأقطعن أيديكم وأرجلكم من خلاف ولأسلبنكم أجمعين. قالوا لا ضير إنا إلى ربنا منقلبون. إنا نطمع أن يغفر لنا ربنا خطايانا أن كنا أول المؤمنين. وأوحينا إلى موسى أن أسر بعبادي إنكم متبعون. فأرسل فرعون في المدائن حاشرين إن هؤلاء لشرذمة قليلون وإنهم لنا لغائظون وإنا لجميع حاضرون. فأخرجناهم من جنات وعيون وكنوز ومغنم كريم. كذلك وورثناها بني إسرائيل فأتبعهم مشرقين. فلما تراءى الجمعان قال أصحاب موسى إنا لمدركون. قال كلا إن معي ربي سيهدين. فأوحينا إلى موسى أن اضرب بعصاك البحر فانفلق فكان كل فرق الطود العظيم وأزلفنا ثم الآخرين وأنجينا موسى ومن معه أجمعين ثم أغرقنا الآخرين إن في ذلك لآية وما كان أكثرهم مؤمنين وإن ربك لهو العزيز الرحيم واتل عليهم نبأ إبراهيم إذ قال لأبيه وقومه ما تعبدون قالوا نعبد أصناما فنظل لها عاكفين قالوا هل يسمعونكم إذ تدعون أو ينفعونكم أو يضرون قالوا بل وجدنا آباءنا كذلك يفعلون قال أفرأيتم ما كنتم تعبدون أنتم وآباؤكم الأقدمون فإنهم عدو لي إلا رب العالمين الذي خلقني فهو يهدين والذي هو يطعمني ويسقين وإذا مرضت فهو يشفين والذي يميتني ثم يحيين والذي أطمع أن يغفر لي خطيئتي يوم الدين رب هب لي حكما والحقني بالصالحين واجعل لي لسان صدق في الآخرين واجعلني من ورثه جنة النعيم واغفر لي لأبي إنه كان من الضالين ولا تخزني يوم يبعثون يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم وأزلفت الجنة للمتقين وبرزت الجحيم للغاوين وقيل لهم أين ما كنتم تعبدون من دون الله هل ينصرونكم أو ينتصرون فكبكبوا فيها هم الغاوون وجنود إبليس أجمعون قالوا وهم فيها يختصمون تالله إن كنا لفي ضلال مبين إذ نسويكم برب العالمين وما عدلنا إلى المجرمون فما لنا من شافعين ولا صديق حميم فلو أن لنا كرة فنكون من المؤمنين إن في ذلك لآية وما كان أكثرهم مؤمنين وإن ربك لهو العزيز الرحيم كذبت قوم نوح المرسلين إذ قال لهم أخوهم نوح ألا تتقون إني لكم رسول أمين فاتقوا الله وآتعون وما أسألكم عليه من أجر إن أجري إلا على رب العالمين فاتقوا الله وأطيعون قالوا أنؤمن لك واتبعك الأرذلون قالوا أنؤمن لك واتبعك الأرذلون قال وما علمي بما كانوا يعملون إن حسابهم إلا على ربي لو تشعرون وما أنا بطارد المؤمنين إن أنا إلا نذير مبين قالوا لئن لم تنته يا نوح لتكونن من المرجومين قال رب إن قومي كذبون فافتح بيني وبينهم فتحا ونجني ومن معي من المؤمنين
طيب الله.
صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Jazakallah, Brother Raza Ufi. Thank you so much for beautiful recitation. May Allah protect you. Jazakallah. Thank you. Before I invite the Maulana, let's make a couple of announcements for upcoming program, inshallah. As you all know, tonight is a night, first night of Lailatul Qadr and also Shab-e Zarbat. So inshallah, regular program speech right now. After that, we'll take a break for iftar and salat. Followed by, inshallah, we're going to start the tonight's Amal program with the majlis of Shab-e Zarbat. So program will be start at 9:45 with the Dua Iftitah, followed by Salam and Marsiya, followed by Majlis by Maulana Muhammad Baig, and 10:40, inshallah, we'll start the short Amal, of course, led by the Maulana Muhammad Baig, and followed by the long Amal, inshallah. You'll get the details of those Amal, inshallah, tonight. Once again, please join us for inshallah tonight's program because of this night of Shab-e Zarbat. So that's why we are having a majlis at night before the Amal, inshallah. Now, without wasting any time, I'd like to welcome Maulana Muhammad Baig to the podium. Thank you, Maulana, and you start. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلاته والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل
على آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله الأعظم روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Thank you everyone for joining us. Tonight's topic is going to be Islam without Ali. Is not Islam at all. When we look at the relationship between Islam and Imam Ali, we see that this relationship is a deep-rooted relationship that goes back a long way. And if Islam has been raised by the Prophet, Ali was also raised by the Prophet. Both of them being raised by the same person, so their relationship has been raised and brought up and taken care of by the same man, that is the Prophet, in the same house. So when we look at this relationship, we need to see what is Ali's role in Islam. Is the acceptance of Imam Ali an obligation in Islam, like the rest of the obligations? Or does it go deeper than that? That the acceptance of Imam Ali is one of the main obligations in Islam, like prayer. Prayer being one of the main obligations of Islam is the same thing that of Imam Ali. Or does it go deeper than that also? In the sense that Imam Ali is essential to Islam. Imam Ali is fundamental to the acceptance of Islam. Is that the case? For example, like Tawheed and Nabuwat. In case of Tawheed, for example, if someone says that I pray and I fast, but I don't believe in Allah, would that prayer be counted? Would that fasting be counted? Would it be valid? If you don't believe in Allah and you're still praying, for what? Or even in the case of the Prophet, for example, you say that I do all the good things of Islam. I pray, I fast, I go for Hajj, I do all these things, but I don't believe that Rasulullah was a prophet. He was a messenger. I don't believe in all of that. Okay, what's the use of fasting and praying and doing all these other good things? I mean, without the Prophet, without you accepting the Prophet, Islam would be nullified. Whatever you do is useless, is worthless. Can we say that Imam Ali falls under the same category? This is important for us to decide and to note this. If that is the case, is Imam Ali indispensable to Islam? Is he essential to Islam? That is what we want to find out today. So without further ado, let's go right away to the Quran. And I'm going to read an ayat of the Quran that most of you already know. And you have heard this many times in your life and explained also many times in your life. But this ayat is particular. It is unique because it stands out from the rest of the Quran in how it speaks to the Prophet, in the tone that it has in speaking to the Prophet. It is very different. It's an ayat where Allah is telling the Prophet to give a message, to announce something to the people. He gives that announcement and says, give this announcement to the people. There's something that Prophet has that Allah says, you better give this to the people. And let me just first translate the ayat. Then we'll go into some of the particular things that this ayat on the outward, without going into tafsir or explanations or any sort of interpretation, that we can gain literally from the ayat. Let's go into that right away. What is this ayat? Surah Ma'idah, ayat number 67. You can look it up and we'll see that. In this ayat, Allah is saying, Ya ayyuhar Rasul, O messenger, addressing him with his official title, that he's the messenger. He's not Muhammad here, he's not Taha or Yasin, some nicknames or anything like that. No, the official messenger who is giving an official message. It has nothing to do with personal. In fact, others didn't have anything to do with personal also. It was all business. And here, it's official business. He says, Ya ayyuhar Rasul, balligh. Balligh is a command form from tabligh, meaning announce, deliver. Deliver this message, announce this message to the people. Ma unzila ilayka min rabbik, what has been revealed to you from your Lord, announce it to the people. Now, until here, everything is fine. This goes in sync. This is in sync with the rest of the Quran. So we don't have to see whether this is strange. Well, what's strange about this? No, it's not. Until here, everything is fine. Allah does give commands to the Prophet in the Quran. For example, he says, Qul huwallahu ahad, Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. So this is a command Allah is giving, Balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik, which is in sync with the rest of the Quran. But from this point onwards, now the tone changes into something that has never been seen before in the Quran. From this point onwards, Allah now says something that is strange and very harsh. He's making a threat to the Prophet. And he says, وَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ. If you do not do this, then you haven't given any message at all. Meaning this one issue is so important that the rest of the message depends on this. Wallahu ya'simuka minan nas, and Allah will protect you from the people. He will protect you from the people. Don't worry about them. Inna Allah la yahdil qawm al-kafirin. And he doesn't guide the people who are kafir. He doesn't let this message get to those people who are going to reject it. He is not going to help this. This message will not help those people who are kafir. If you are Muslim, this message will help you. If you are kafir, then this message will not help you. So wow, such importance is this of importance is this message, that one, if you don't do this, the rest of Islam is nullified, and Allah has to protect the Prophet. And three, someone who doesn't accept it is going to become a kafir. So let's see what that important message is. And before we get into that, we need to just look at this ayat and see what could that message be. Now, some people, some Muslims have put forward a theory regarding this ayat. You need to listen to this theory also, so that when you hear this theory, you don't get shocked as to what they're saying. The theory is this. They say that Islam is a puzzle. It has different pieces that go in every place. And just like any other puzzle, if one of the pieces is missing, then the picture will be incomplete. The puzzle will be incomplete. So Islam being a puzzle, all the pieces have to be there for Islam to be complete. This is what Allah wants to say. What Allah wants to say is that give the whole message. Don't leave anything out. Don't leave anything out, because Islam is a whole. And if anything is missing, it would be incomplete. And that would look nice. Well, the theory that has been put forward by scholars who don't want to accept the actual message in this ayat. So they put this theory forward. Let's see if this theory is right. It would be right to say that if all the commandments of Allah were of equal value, if all of them were of equal value, then yes, this theory that you are giving forward would be true. It would be right. But we see that they're not. I mean, fasting is different than believing in Allah's Tawheed. If you don't fast, no one says that you will go to hell for that, or that you are not a Muslim, or your Islam is negated. But if you do reject Allah, your Islam is negated, and you do go to hell for that. So these two are not different, and they're both commandments of Islam. And we see that everywhere in Islam. Two things are not the same. Let's look at it in wajibat. For example, fasting as opposed to Hajj. Can anyone say that, well, if you fast and don't go for Hajj, then your fasting is invalid and batil? Or can anyone say that if you go for Hajj, but if you don't fast, then your Hajj is batil? No, one has nothing to do with the other one. They both are the same. They both are the same. And hence, how can you say that they are independent and on their own and stand on their own feet? One doesn't negate the other. Or for example, Amr bil Maruf and Zakat or Khums. If you don't pay your Khums and do Amr bil Maruf, is your Amr bil Maruf rejected? No. You get the reward for Amr bil Maruf, you get the sin for not paying Khums. Or the other way around. It's the same thing. One has nothing to do with the other. It stands on its own feet. It's independent of each other. Allah is not saying that here. He's saying that this issue is so important that if you do not have this, then the rest of the Amal, the rest of Islam is nullified. Wow. That's where we need to go. And that's what we want to find out. What is that which Allah wants to say that? Even in haram things, not every haram is the same. For example, doing zina is different than looking at non-mahram women. Both of them are a sin. Both of them are haram. But they're not the same. The punishment is not the same. If you look at a non-mahram woman, we're not going to say you will be flogged and slashed 100 times. No, it's not going to happen. So it's a difference. In everything there's a difference. So this theory is not correct. And its basis is not correct. It has nothing to do with this ayat. This ayat is clearly saying that this issue is so important that if it's not accepted, then the rest of the message is finished. It is nullified. It is invalid. And The person who does that is going to become a kafir. He says, "Inna Allah la yahdi al-qawm al-kafirin." Allah does not guide the kafir. So what is that issue that is so important? So looking at the ayat, and I'm not going to go into the tafsir of the ayat, I'm just looking at the literal words of the ayat. Very simple language Allah used. There's nothing hidden about it at all. Everything is in its place. When you look at it, I wrote down 9 points that are something that you can get just by looking at this ayat. By looking at this ayat. Now, Shias already know this ayat. We already know this ayat because we heard it so many times. I'm just going to break down the ayat, just the wordings of the ayat, to see what message can we get from that without going into the tafsir of that. We'll go into the tafsir in a little bit. But right now, let's just look at the ayat itself and try to figure out what is this issue. Number one, the issue is so important that, number one, Rasulullah has a fear of public outrage. Yes, he has a fear that the people are going to be outraged by this message. It's a fear that we see on the outward meaning of the ayat that Rasulullah has. Now, the fear that Rasulullah has is not based on the fact that, that he's afraid of them or he's a coward. No, there's no person who's more courageous or braver than Rasulullah. He has shown it and proven it, and the world has been a witness to it in all his life. If Rasulullah can stand up to the tyrants, cruel kuffar of Makkah at the beginning of Islam, when he had no help, when he had no one around him, he was standing up to them and delivering the message of Allah, then how is it that now he's afraid? Of course not. He's not afraid of that. The reason of his fear is something else that Imam Ali explains in Nahjul Balagha. He says that the fear that the messenger had is the same fear that Hazrat Musa had when he was facing the magicians. Allah speaks of that in the Quran, and he tells Musa, don't be afraid, throw down your staff. And Musa did what Allah said, but there was a fear that he had, and that fear was that the people would not understand what's happening. The people are too ignorant and dumb to understand what's going on. They would not see what Musa is doing is different than what the magicians are doing. And they would think that this is the same thing. And that is the fear that Rasulullah had, that these people will not understand what I'm doing right now or what this announcement is about. They won't understand that and they will object to that. So that's a fear Rasulullah had, which is true, and it did come out true. But Allah says, don't worry about it. Allah is going to protect that message, right? So Allah, number two, Allah reassures Rasulullah of by giving him a promise of protection. He says, I will protect you. Don't worry. Nothing will happen to you or the message. Number three, the issue has more value than the rest of Islam. This one issue is more valuable than the rest of Islam. Number four, if this message is not accepted, then the whole of Islam is nullified. Number five, Islam will remain like a body without a soul, meaning it will be dead. If you take this issue out, it will be dead. It will be finished. Number six, people will dispute this issue. People are going to object to this issue. Number seven, the Prophet was aware that the people are going to object to the issue. Prophet knew that the trend and the mindset of the people, he knew that if he says this message, if he gives this message, people are going to object to it because he knows the emotions of the people right now and the sentiments of the people. They just don't like this announcement. And number eight, the people who will protest are Muslims. It's very important. Allah is not talking to kuffar here. When he says he doesn't guide the kuffar, he's not saying that these are idolaters. He is talking about Muslims who, if they don't accept this message, are going to become kafir. So number nine, this issue is so important that it can change Islam to kufr. It can change a Muslim to a kafir. Wow. What is this issue? We want to find out. Before I go into that, just let me give you a backdrop about the Muslims, because that's the audience here. When Allah and the Messenger of Allah are talking to the Muslims, we need to see that not all the Muslims are alike. They're not the same. There are some of them who are true and sincere to Islam, and they recognize that Islam is from Allah. They recognize the Quran is divine. They recognize that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. They all recognize that. Then there's a second group of people who are hypocrites, munafiqeen. Allah speaks about that in the Quran. They are people who are hiding under the garb of Islam because they have no other choice now. Because Rasulullah is, king, and they don't accept these things. They just are waiting for the chance to strike back. Number three, then you have people who are insincere. They do accept Islam, but they're not sincere about it. Well, whatever, we'll go along with it. Number four, you have the simple-minded people, like you have in every other community, every other society. Simple-minded people are people who will go with anything. Rasulullah says it, I'll go with that. Mr. X says it, I'll go with that. Mr. Y says it, I'll go with that. They don't see what's right or wrong. They just go along with whatever they hear. So they are Muslims, they accepted Islam, but they're simple-minded. And number five is a very important group of people. Number five are good citizens. Yes, good citizens of any country, of any nation, of any society, of any center. You have good citizens. Now, these good citizens is a very large number of Muslims. And who are these people? They are the people who accepted Islam after the conquest of Makkah. After Fateh Makkah, a lot of people accepted Islam not because it's a divine religion, not because Rasulullah came from Allah, not because the Quran was a revelation of Allah. No, because now the Prophet is the king of the Arabs, he is the ruler of the land, and we live here, so we must follow whoever has the rule, whoever makes the law. We are good law-abiding citizens. We just follow it. They don't believe that this is from Allah. No, they don't. They just follow the law of the land. That's it. And a lot of the people are like that. So to them, it doesn't matter what the Prophet says. They look at the Prophet as a king, as a ruler, as the president. He makes whatever rules he wants, and usually kings and rulers make rules for their own benefit and in their own interest. So they're expecting the Prophet to make an announcement in his own interest. They don't care. They said, he's the king. What can we do? Might is right. Right now, he has the power. He has the army. We can't say anything. We can't do anything. We'll just go along. A lot of the people are like that. So now when Allah wants to address these people, that's why he used this tone in the ayat. One of the reasons Allah used the tone in this ayat is to let those people know that this man who's giving you the message has no authority or he has no choice in the matter. He is doing whatever he's told. That's why the threat is there, that if you don't do that, nothing's going to happen, and you better do this. And you are a messenger, and that's all you are, a messenger. You're just giving my message to the people. This tone has been given for what? So that people can realize that this is an official statement being made by someone else, not the Prophet, not this man. It's not personal. And this was very important that it be given out so that the people, if they object knowing that this is from Allah, not from the Prophet. So now, stage has been set, ayat has been revealed, importance of this issue has been mentioned. And now this issue is so important that everyone is expecting it's going to come down and it's going to be given to the people. What could it be? And such a message of so importance cannot be just given in some normal circumstances or an ordinary venue like the rest of the ayat. You can't have a message of this importance being given in a place where all the normal things are given. For example, an ayat came down about alcohol is haram. An ayat came down that fasting is wajib. Ayat came down that Ali is your wali. An ayat came down that don't get divorced. Okay, it won't make sense like that. Of an ayat of this importance that's going to nullify everything else to come down in some customary, regular setting like all the rest of the ayat. It cannot come down on a day when 5 other ayat came down. and the 5 other ayat came down, and one of them is this. No, it has to be something unique. It has to be something exceptional. The stage has to be extraordinary. The venue has to be special. It cannot be some ordinary setting like that. And that's why Allah and the Messenger, in their wisdom and the knowledge that Allah has, created that venue, and that venue came about, a special venue, an extraordinary venue, came about in Ghadir. Unlike any other ayat, no stage has ever been set for any ayat like Ghadir. No venue has ever been found for any other ayat than Ghadir. It is such a venue and such an extraordinary circumstances that everyone, the largest gathering of Muslims, coming back from from the Hajj with the Prophet, the last Hajj, he announced it, and they're coming back with him. All our Hajjis in a state of spiritual highness, and they all come back, and they are now being gathered in the middle of nowhere. Yes, people objected. At first, they objected right away. They said, "Why here? There's a message coming. Why here? We can go to Medina and you can give it there. It will be so much easier. And there'll be other people there also." No, it's going to be right here. It cannot have any other venue than this, because no other ayat should be revealed here, no other message should be given here, so that you can put those two together or mix them up or confuse them. This is going to be the only message coming here, and this message is of utter importance, that with this message, everything else will be nullified. It has to be special, my friends, and that's what happened. The stage was set, Ghadir was set, everyone was set, the stage, Rasulullah got on it, he brought forward Imam Ali, introduced Imam Ali, the simple message that says that Ali is the leader of all of you, he is my successor, and he is the wali of Allah. 3 things. He is the wali of Allah, he is my successor, and he is the leader of all of you after me. Simple message that he gave in a big khutbah that he had, but simple message that he gave to make sure that no other message is confused with this. Clear message. Ali is that issue. Ali is that issue that if he is not accepted, then the rest of the Islam is nullified. It is invalid. Everyone there understood that, because it could not be more clear. It is in eloquent Arabic. It is not really explanatory. It's very simple, and it was given in such a beautiful, simple manner that no other message could be confused with it. And then Allah revealed the ayat of Ghadir, which is Al-Yawm akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-Islam dinan. That today Allah has completed Islam for you and is pleased with Islam as a religion. So now, what makes Allah pleased with Islam as a religion? It is Ali and the imamat of Ali and the wilayat of Ali that makes Allah pleased with Islam as a religion. In very short, Islam with Ali is what Allah calls Islam. Islam without Ali is some illusion that everyone has of that is Islam, but it cannot be Islam according to Quran, according to Allah, in the most simple language. So Islam without Ali is not Islam at all. It cannot be Islam. Ali is what makes Islam Islam in the eyes of the Quran, in the eyes of the Prophet, in the eyes of Allah, and in the eyes of Islam. So here, when we end up like this, it's not a new thing, my friends. It's not something new that this is happening. I don't know why people are surprised when they hear that if you don't accept Ali, then Islam is rejected from you. Yes, it's not very difficult for us to understand that. It's not very hard for us to understand that. If you read the Quran, you will know it. Allah gives an example of that. He gives the example of Shaitan. Yes, Shaitan, who worshipped Allah for 6,000 years, served him for 6,000 years, obeyed him for 6,000 years, adored him for 6,000 years. We worship Allah for 6 hours on Laylatul Qadr and we are tired. and we want to wait till next year to worship Allah. Shaitan is doing it for 6,000 years. Can we do more than that? Look at this submission. Look at this obedience. Look at this faith. How much endurance and determination does he have to worship and keep on worshiping Allah and obeying Him and serving Him for 6,000 years? Went through all the ranks and raised himself to the ranks of angels and the archangels. And then all he did was one mistake, one measly mistake. Yes, all he did was that, Allah, I have done this for all these years. Just don't let me bow before this person. I mean, this, whatever you created, I don't want to prostrate before him. It's going to ruin my record. I've been always bowing down before you. Just one little thing, overlook that. Everything else is fine. Everything else is fine. I'm doing everything else. Just like you said, just one thing, I don't want to accept that. And Allah says what? Aba wastakbara wa kana min al-kafirin. He refused it, became arrogant, and he is a kafir. 6,000 years of Islam, and now you're a kafir. For one thing, what is that? To refuse to accept the Khalifa that Allah has appointed. Allah gives this example very clear in the Quran. Why are we even surprised to know that, oh my God, so if you leave Ali and that's it, and this is what's going to happen? Yes, that's what's going to happen. Allah gives the example so that we should be aware that there's one issue greater than other issues. And all the other issues revolve around this issue. And we need to be clear about that. Know that very clearly. Imam Ali was not just given like that, but in reality, Imam Ali was like that also. To Allah, to the Prophet, and to Islam. No greater helper has Islam ever found greater than Imam Ali. Really, if you look at Islam, in the history of Islam, and you go there and look at every place in the growth of Islam where Islam found itself on the brink of extinction, it was going to be finished, annihilated. There you saw Imam Ali bringing Islam out of danger to safety. Only Imam Ali. When others were running away, when others were kowtowing, where others were hiding, it was Imam Ali who was present, always ready, always sacrificing, always saving. That is Ali, my friends. You cannot deny the fact that Ali was special. You cannot deny the fact that Ali is essential to the existence of Islam. In reality also, not just in theory. I mentioned the theory, but in reality, Allah wanted to show why He chose Ali, because look at him. He is the only one who saves. He is the only one who gives life to Islam. Look at him. Ali was that person. Let me give an example. I can give you many examples. Every stage of Islam is an example. Every corner and every turn of Islam is an example of Ali saving Islam and being there as a helper of Islam, helper of Allah, helper of the Prophet, everywhere. Let me give you an example. The Battle of Khandak, where all the forces of Kufr had gathered together to destroy Islam and Muslims once and for all. It came down to this. Yes, it came down to the wire. All the kuffar brought all their allies to come here, and you know what? We are going to wipe these people out. 10,000 of them. And they knew that Muslims are no match for them. They had them cornered. And so in that, a person by the name of Amr ibn Abdul came out and challenged the Muslims for a duel. Come out and fight if you have the guts, if you have the faith. ridiculed them, made fun of them. All the Muslims had their head down. No one wanted to fight him. No one wanted to face him. Everyone was backing off. No one even wanted to consider that fact. They were seeing that in how many ways and how many possible ways he is going to kill us. No one wanted to take that chance. So at that point, Imam Ali was the one who was saying to the Prophet that let me go at him. Give me the chance. And Rasulullah, when he sent Imam Ali to fight, a special statement that Rasulullah made. He said, Baradh al-Iman kullahu ila kufri kullihi. That today, the whole of Iman, the whole of Islam is going to fight against the whole of kufr. Ali became the embodiment of the whole of deen, the whole of faith. He became the embodiment of that, meaning Allah, meaning right at that moment, if, hypothetically speaking, if Ali had lost, then the whole of faith would have been crushed forever. Allah put that trust of saving his deen on the shoulders of this young man. What kind of trust did Allah have on Ali? Ali was special. He was special to Islam. He was special to Allah. And Allah knew it. And when Ali wiped out the enemy, annihilated Amr ibn Abdul Wad, and as soon as the Prophet heard that, he again clarified his statement and said, so that everyone can understand this, and that's why this hadith is everywhere, because everyone heard it, ضربت Ali يوم الخندق أفضل من إبادة الثقلين, that the one strike of Ali on the day of Khandaq is greater than the worship of everyone else. All the worship on one side, Ali's strike on one side. Why? Just like the ayat is saying, Ali's issue on one side, the rest of Islam on the other side. As long as Ali is there, then the rest of the worship is useful. If Ali is not there, then there's nothing that's useful. One strike of Ali, can you imagine that? He said that one strike is worth more than all of that, because if this wasn't there, nothing would have been there. The foundation of Islam would be finished. This, my friends, is Ali, that special place that Ali had. Really. And if someone had to kill Ali, if someone had to take his life, it cannot be some normal person also. Think about it. Everything about Ali was special. His birth was special. He was born when the Kaaba cracked itself open to let his mother inside. Until his death, where his head was cracked open in the house of Allah. The Kaaba cracked itself, the house of Allah cracked itself for Ali, and Ali had his head cracked in Allah's house for Allah. Everything in between was special. Everything, my friends. Ali's life was special, and that's why when we look at Ali, without Ali, there is no Islam. And that person who had to kill Ali could not be some average Joe walking around. No, he was a criminal of the highest quality. Highest quality. If you ever look at the history of Abdul Rahman ibn Muljam al-Muradi, you will see that he is no normal person. Wow, this person was really, really amazingly criminal and amazingly diabolical. I mean, you can't get worse than this. And I don't say it myself, I'm saying it according to Hadith. Rasulullah told this to Imam Ali. He brought him close to him and he said to Ali, Atadri man ashkal awwalin. Do you know who's the most wretched, the worst person in the beginning of time, in the history? Imam Ali says, Naam, aqiru naqat Saleh. He says, that man who killed the camel of Saleh. That there's one man, the whole nation went there to kill him, but one man actually did it. That must have been such a lowly, despicable person who actually would do the crime like that. Really, it would be the worst thing. And then Rasulullah says, "Afatadri man ashkal aqirin." Do you know who is the worst in our times, in the end days, times that we are living? Who is the worst person, the scum of the earth, the greatest scum of the earth? Who is that? Ashqa means the most shaqi, the most wretched person that you can find. Imam Ali says, Allahu wa Rasulahu a'lam. Allah and His Messenger know better. He didn't answer. He let Rasulullah answer this. And Rasulullah says, Man yadribuka ala hadihi hatta taghdibu hadihi. He says, it is that person who's going to hit you on your head, which is going to make your beard dyed with your blood. It is going to color your beard with your blood, Ali. That is the most wretched person you will ever find. Abdurrahman ibn Muljim al-Muradi, Lanatullah alayhi, was that person who on this night spent this night in the masjid. And Imam Ali spent this night in the house of his daughter, Kulthum. And in that night, Imam Ali told Kulthum, he told Kulthum that, Kulthum, tomorrow this is what's going to happen. The prophecy is going to come true. I am going to meet my fate. When Kulthum heard this, she became frantic and said to Ali, her father, that father, let someone else go there. Don't go, let someone else go there. Imam Ali smiled at her and said, you think that I'm not going to face the fate of Allah? There is no escaping destiny. There is no escaping taqdeer. Allah has decided this. There's no escaping that. And you think I'm going to escape that? All my life I have been waiting for this. Every day of my life I have been waiting for this, especially since your mother passed away. You think that I won't stay here? That night Imam Ali had a dream. He had a dream in which Rasulullah came to him, and Rasulullah told Ali, and Ali said this, I had a dream, I saw Rasulullah, and he told me that Ali, it's been a long time. I've been waiting for you. It's been a long time, Ali. It's time to come now. We miss you a lot. And then he showed me Fatima. He says, look at Fatima. She misses you a lot. When Ali heard that, he could not hold back. The excitement of Ali going finally to the Prophet of Allah, to Fatima, could not be matched. He had a spring in his feet that morning. He was so excited. He went out the door. The ducks that were outside the door every day that would meet him and escort him to the masjid, they tried to stop him. And he says, you can't do that today. Nothing can stop Ali from going to his fate today. Nothing is going to stop him. Imam Ali walked all the way with a spring in his feet. With excitement, he walked to the masjid. Opened. He made the azan, woke up everyone, saw Ibn Muljam, spoke to him, and he said to him, I know what you're hiding, but go on, because this is going to be something special for Ali. Imam Ali went there, started his mustahab prayer, and the idea of Ibn Muljam was that when he prays, that's when you strike him. And that sword, not to kill him with the sword, but the poison, was poisoned with such poison, was drenched in such poison that would annihilate and eliminate its target as soon as it gets there. It will start working and there's no reversal. There's no way to get that person back after it goes in. Ibn Muljam, as soon as he saw Imam Ali beg the prayer and go into sajda, he starts to run towards Imam Ali. And he came there, and with one strike, as Imam Ali is getting off the sajda, he struck Imam Ali on the head in such a way that a big gash came in the head of Imam Ali. The blood started spurting out, drenching his beard, becoming red. Imam Ali went back down into sajda with the force of the sword. he went back down into sajda. As soon as he went down, Ibn Muljam saw that the sword had gone inside. The idea was not to kill Ali with the sword. The idea was to kill him with the poison. He knew that the poison is inside, it will do its job. Seeing that, Ibn Muljam started running away. Imam Ali tried to sit up. As he sat up there, the pain and the blood that's gushing out and the poison that's going in his mind is making him swoon to the left and the right. And all he could say was, Fusto bi Rabbil Kaaba, smiling. Fusto bi Rabbil Kaaba. I am successful by the Lord of the Kaaba. Today I am successful. Saying that, Ya Rasulullah, I am coming. Ya Fatima, I am coming to you. Wait for me. سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. يا محمود بحق محمد، يا الله بحق علي، يا فاطر السماوات بحق فاطمة، يا محسن بحق حسن، يا قديم الإحسان بحق حسين. Allah give us the tawfiq to be on the right path. Wisdom and your guidance. Hasten the reappearance of our Imam. Make us his helper when he comes. آخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you, Aga. Thank you so much for powerful speech, inshallah. See you in a little bit for the majlis, inshallah. Just a reminder, all the Mu'mineen are listener of the Islamic Center Mu'min live broadcast. As we are announcing again and again and again, please help Mu'min Center out. Our budget for Ramadan is $50,000. As you all know, our activities are shut down in the physical, but we are at your service online and giving you the best of the program in community. So we like your help. Please help us out on that regard. Whenever you come to the program, you see the tab. It's running on there on YouTube, and also after the program, you can visit the Moment website and pay, donate now, and donate it to the Ramzan Fund. Thank you once again, and inshallah, hope to see you at 9:45 with the Dua Iftitah and a majlis for Shab Zarbat, followed by the Amal of first Lailatul Qadr night. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.